Hi, welcome back to CaptainSoup.com. I'm Mary Ruddick. I'm the Director of Nutrition for Captain Soup, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I got here, what my healing story was, and why I am so grateful for soups as a healing method. I really wouldn't be here today, period, let alone working as a nutritionist or able to film a video had it not been for soup. Soups quite literally saved my life. I, at age 18, fell ill as a result of an infection while traveling overseas, and it caused a cascade of diseases in my body, in my nervous system, my immune system, and most of my organs, which kept me very, very ill for over a decade. All were quote-unquote incurable conditions and should not have reversed. However, at a certain point in the journey, about 7-8 years in, all the medications stopped working, and honestly they weren't working well to begin with, but they were doing something. However, they weren't working. I was actually getting far worse and not able to do much of anything. I was mostly bedbound and housebound. And at that time I started doing a lot of research and realized that if anybody was going to get me better, it was going to have to be myself. My medical team was not capable. And so I started researching and I started reading, and I came across quite a few studies overseas out of Russia and the UK and Europe talking about using traditional food for healing. And I thought at the time, well, I eat very healthfully. I'm plant-based. Most of my food is cooked from scratch, yada, yada, yada. And yet I had never been more sick. So I in a humbling way, I had to admit maybe I need to try something new. So I did. I went back to eating meat and I started making soups. And to be honest, I had never made soups in the old-fashioned way. I had to learn how to make bone broths and meat broths and what the difference was, and boil a whole chicken, which was something I had never done before. And so it was also fun. It was a fun experiment to do. And luckily, on my low level of energy, I could just make one big pot of soup and eat off of that for the entire week. So that's what I did. I actually ended up eating the exact same bowl of soup every day, every meal for 2 years. But the reason why I did that was because it actually worked. It wasn't instant. It wasn't overnight. In fact, I didn't see much improvement until after 4 to 6 months. So I'm grateful I stuck with it, I think out of desperation. But at the 6-month mark, I was able to come off of about half of my medications, the few that I was still on, and at the 1-year mark I was in full remission. My liver, kidney, lungs, thyroid, everything, everything. My energy was back. I was able to go back to school. I finished my undergrad, and then I had such a religious fervor about healing from just buying different groceries and doing a little cooking that I ended up going back to school as a nutritionist, because I genuinely felt, and I still feel, that this could be household knowledge. There's no reason that other people can't be doing this from the get-go instead of waiting a decade like I did and learning about it way too late. So now I work as the Director of Nutrition for several places. Captain Soup is one of them, and I've got my private practice, and I'm working on spreading the word. So consider getting some soup from CaptainSoup.com. Make some of your own soup. Eat nothing but soup. Soup never killed anybody. And see if it works for you, as it did for me, and it has for so many others. All right, if you liked this video, if you'd like to know more, feel free to ask me questions down below. Please subscribe to our channel and head over to CaptainSoup.com and get a box of soup today.